whatever we're doing here and the experiences that we had bukannya sahaja benefit for us but also benefit for everybody, to the public, right?
Yeah, we are not the best host lah. Kan, sebab kita pun bukanlah daripada background hosting kan.
Betul.
This is our first time buat podcast, and kita pun tak pernah jadi DJ radio ke, tak pernah ada any experience on all this,
so that we can inspire youth to be the best version of themselves.
Yes, when you listen to all these people punya journey, you know that life is not always up.
True.
Life dia ada dia punya up, dia ada dia punya down.
It kind of like koyak sikit lah kan. Especially when I read the comments myself, I felt like wow.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nama saya Asyraf Khalid dan bersama saya
Ishraq Kamarudin.
Alright, so selamat datang ke Apa Cerita Podcast.
Yes.
Today is the Raya edition.
Yep.
Apa Cerita Podcast ini di mana kita mendengar kisah inspirasi daripada individu-individu yang berjaya untuk dijadikan sebagai teladan dan juga inspirasi.
Yes.
Alright, so actually this is the second time kita buat episode just kita berdua,
Betul. The first one was the pilot episode.
Yes. And then this is the second one lah. And of course, sebelum kita mula, kita nak ucapkan Selamat Hari Raya.
Selamat Hari Raya Maaf Zahir dan Batin.
Yes, Selamat Zahir. Maaf Zahir dan Batin juga daripada I. Kan mana tahu kalau ada tersalah bahasa, even dengan kau buat, aku nak minta maaf juga.
Aku minta maaf.
Kan, kalau ada salah silap kan. Ni betul-betul lah Wak.
Yes.
Ni bukannya on camera je.
No.
Kita kosong-kosong. Mungkin kita sebagai co-host kadang-kadang ada terguris hati kat mana-mana kan.
Alhamdulillah so far I don't think so. Tapi kalau ada, I just let it go lah.
Kan. Hopefully dah terlupa lah kalau
InsyaAllah.
ada pun.
InsyaAllah.
Alright, so okay, what we gonna do today Wak?
So hari ni adalah kali pertama yang kita buat a session since kita start. So I would say genap 3 bulan.
Dah 3 bulan
Dah 3 bulan kita punya journey dalam Apa Cerita podcast ni punya journey. And the first episode yang kita buat adalah pilot episode where kita explain segala benda yang apa kita nak buat and sudah buat.
Yep.
So this is like just nice lah. Lepas quarter pertama 2024, kita reflect balik apa yang kita telah belajar, and also how is this progress going?
Yeah, and Alhamdulillah, I think the past 3 months has been amazing.
Yes.
And for me personally juga, sebab I think I've learned so much, man.
Likewise.
You learn so much with different people every week.
Betul.
And I think that is one of the, and not just on camera, off camera pun.
Betul.
Kan kita dapat banyak juga backstory yang I rasa sangat menarik juga kan. A lot of them. And I feel like macam, you know, this whole experience sebenarnya membuatkan hidup aku ni aku rasa lebih bermanfaat sikit lah. Kan, even though kita buat benda ni seminggu sekali as our part time and still self-funded Wak.
Yep.
Still self-funded lagi. Belum ada masuk sponsor. So kalau ada mana-mana pihak yang tengah mendengar yang nak masuk sponsor,
yes,
dia
alu-alukan.
And I think, you know, our channel pun Alhamdulillah has got about almost 12,000 subscribers already. So I think it has been progressing quite well. And I think of course kita punya niche adalah more kepada usahawan. I think that's what people bila orang tengok
that's
Apa Cerita,
we started.
Yeah, that's what we started. And bila orang tengok Apa Cerita pun orang fikir it's about usahawan lah.
Betul. Tapi the whole mission, as we said, is to actually spread manfaat tu, which is so that we can inspire youth to be the best version of themselves.
Yes, betul.
Yes.
And I think benda ni adalah benda yang sangat penting. Sebab I think, of course, looking at bila kita bercakap dengan a lot of our guests kan Wak, a lot of them talk about their past. Kan, selalu kita bermula dengan cerita-cerita diorang masa diorang, how they started,
masa diorang umur-umur kita lah.
Macam dia umur kita kan. In fact, macam kan, I think I pun baca some comments juga Wak kan. Orang kata, you guys ni lahir silver spoon, so shut the F up, dia kata kan. You have no rights to talk kan.
Yes.
But if you look back sikit je history tu, of course I dengan Wak, we are super blessed Wak, betul tak?
Quite privileged lah basically.
Quite privileged and blessed because our father took that step.
Correct.
Kan, our father took that step to get out of their comfort zone.
Yep.
Kan diorang pun started from nothing juga. I think your father, actually kita dah buat dah some interview dengan Datuk Kamruddin Merano, which kita tak release lagi, but insyaAllah one day we will release. So even from his story pun, he started as a kampung boy in Kampung Baru, and then my father also kampung boy juga kat Kampung Pematang Pasiak kat Kedah. Kan. So bila I dengar dia orang punya story, bila I dengar dia orang punya background pun, they didn't come from privilege.
True.
Kan, but they work their way up and they became who they are because of their hard work. And kita ni adalah fruit of their hard work.
True.
Kan, maksudnya bila dia bekerja keras apa semua, yang benefit tu sebenarnya bukan hanya kita, tapi anak cucu kita juga.
Yep.
So mungkin I don't have the rights to talk about hardship apa semua, but I think to call people up, for them to share their experience, so that kita boleh bagi sedikit macam light at the end of the tunnel for some people yang mungkin dah rasa nak give up.
True.
Yang buat business yang rasa macam you know, and now we know business is tough.
Yep.
Kan, but when you listen to all these people punya journey, you know that life is not always up.
True.
Life dia ada dia punya up, dia ada dia punya down.
Yep.
Kan, and what do you do when you are down, and what you do when you are up.
Yep.
Bila kat bawah, adakah you continue to do, you know, apa yang you nak buat, and then bila you kat atas, adakah you akan tolong lebih ramai orang, adakah you akan buat benda-benda yang demi kebaikan.
Betul,
kan?
betul.
So I feel like, you know, all this story sebenarnya banyak move me as a person juga, and of course doing it for free. In fact kena keluar duit juga kan.
Yep.
Especially kepada Wak lah, because studio ni semua Wak punya studio kan.
Yes.
But I think it's a fulfilling journey, right?
True.
What do you think, Wak?
I agree with you, Up. So it's just that basically whatever we're doing here and the experiences that we had, bukannya sahaja benefit for us, but also benefit for everybody, to the public, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole aim here. Tapi at the same time, you know, no regrets lah.
Kan?
Yeah, from the start until now, no regrets. And memang we come from a family background yang okay, well off, but at the same time, what we choose to do with our time now is more important lah for me.
Betul.
Yeah. So kita decided to do this Apa Cerita, and like I said, no regrets, and Alhamdulillah, so far it's been progressing quite well.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, what are we planning to do today? Up this Raya edition, first ever Apa Cerita original series. But before that, I think we need to do our call to action before Idris bising nanti. So to everybody out there, all the viewers and listeners, please do subscribe to Apa Cerita podcast, so that kita boleh help kita punya algorithm jadi lebih bermanfaat kepada lagi ramai orang lain.
Yes, insyaAllah.
Yes, insyaAllah.
So okay, today what sebenarnya I think we want to pick some of the episodes untuk kita buat some recap lah.
Yes.
And at the same time, I think we also have to tell our viewers juga that mungkin kita ada 1 week off, right, for Raya.
Yep, correct.
So mungkin kalau ada that 1 week off, you guys boleh lah tengok kita punya past episodes kan, and layan-layan.
We kasih 1 week untuk
layan.
Yes,
sebab
untuk layan.
I dapat juga some feedback. Diorang kata sebelum puasa tu, diorang selalu tengok podcast kita masa tengah makan. Ni actually my brother Adib cakap, dia selalu tengok podcast kita ni masa tengah makan. Tapi bila bulan puasa ni, takkan masa buka puasa nak tengok podcast. Takkan sahur nak tengok podcast. Betul, so tengah hari, I don't know lah, boleh percaya ke tak, dia tak makan. Betul lah.
So, but we moved the time to 6 o'clock, so that, you know, sambil tunggu nak buka puasa kan, that last hurrah sebelum buka, that you could actually enjoy the podcast lah.
So I think hopefully now that we are back to normal, pada mungkin hari-hari yang tak puasa 6 tu, then mungkin kita boleh layan lah some of our episodes, because
sambil makan.
I think jujur lah I cakap, mungkin kita as a host, we are not the best host lah. Kan, sebab kita pun bukanlah daripada background hosting kan. This is our first time buat podcast, and kita pun tak pernah jadi DJ radio ke, tak pernah ada any experience on all this. Tapi what we wanted to do, macam kita cakap tadi, kita nak share manfaat kepada lebih ramai orang. And I feel like macam network yang kita ada kan, sayang kalau kita tak betul-betul bermanfaatkan dia kepada lebih ramai orang. Betul lah.
Agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we move on to our first episode that we want to talk about?
Okay.
So we're gonna talk about more of yang episode-episode yang top dalam kita punya ni, and juga kita akan share apa kita punya pendapat and apa the key pelajaran dan sharing yang we dapat from these episodes, starting with the OG.
Yeah, John Lemon,
the OG.
Okay, the OG. I think this episode was the first episode, dan juga after kita launch this episode 3-4 minggu, people still talk to me about this episode.
Correct.
Tapi mungkin orang tak tahu pun dah ada episode kedua, episode ketiga. Sebab this episode was like so, they overpower the other episodes lah at the start tu kan. So, and I think it was one of the definitely one of the most entertaining for me. Kan, sebab John ni adalah orang yang sangat kelakar.
Betul. Dia punya karakter tu is something else lah.
Kan? Yalah, personally dia kelakar, and then dia pun menggunakan bahasa yang orang mudah faham.
Betul.
Dia punya bahasa it's like macam
sembang.
Macam sembang. So I think that one thing yang communication skill dia pun kan. And then I like juga sebab John ni, kalau you tengok, he stayed humble. And he stayed humble, and macam kalau kita tengok, dia pun masih duduk kat tempat yang sama.
Betul.
Dia pun kereta pun dia tak adalah bermewah-mewah. Kan, mungkin yang beza tu mungkin poket dia je lah. Mungkin poket dia tebal
poket
sikit.
Lagi tebal,
Kalau dulu mungkin poket nipis sikit, sekarang dah tebal. Tapi I think other than that, I think he kept on the ground lah, very grounded lah. And I think that's also one of the key factor yang membuatkan ramai orang suka kat dia juga. And dia pun cerita kat aku lah. Dia kata, weh, aku first time tu buat podcast ke, buat interview semua, komen semua baik-baik. Kan, because I think that is where people start to understand who John Lemon is. Kan, sebelum ni orang tengok sikit-sikit, but masa tu orang start to really kenal
appreciate his dia as a person lah.
Kan? Betul. And I think one of the key point yang I belajar juga from this episode adalah when you have a product, it's about availability. Kan, masa start tu dia buat Houseboom tu mungkin okay, product was good, I remember, tapi dia jual kat some restaurants apa semua kan. So in terms of distribution, he wasn't that strong kan. So I thought bila dia start to really widen his distribution, I think that is when he really started macam
nampak dia punya shot up tu lah.
Exactly.
Nampak business dia menaik.
And I think he's doing that really well lah. Aku rasa dia dekat semua tempat lah.
Di mana ada peti ais, di situ ada job. Di mana di situ ada Houseboom.
Even aku pergi kat some of my favourite restaurants, macam contoh I went to Hadramaut. Kan, aku pun kadang-kadang makan Arab kan. And then kat situ tak jual Coke bro, dia jual Houseboom Cola. And then dekat Beards Brother bro, dekat one of my favourite juga kan, pun ada Houseboom punya fridge. And tak payah cakap lah 7-Eleven apa semua, dia semua ada lah. But his distribution I think is really good lah. And I think from I mentioned juga masa episode tu kan, I went to Coca-Cola before, and when they spoke about the secret recipe, this is actually the secret recipe, distribution. So I think we are quite lucky lah.
Correct.
To have
and to add on lepas habis je episode tu juga, I pergi balik ke business I. So right now one of my business, kita ada 8 distribution channel. So now our key strategy tahun ni is also to improve all this distribution channel.
Betul.
You know, so that kita ada actually availability and basically reliable lah. Reliable apa bahasa Melayu? Boleh
diharap lah.
Boleh diharap lah. Semua tempat yang mana kita nak beli ni ada produk kita. So I actually ambil pelajaran tu, and terus apply. Correct.
Exactly. So macam even for Mutiara pun, I think this is one of our key issue jugalah, which is availability kan. So insyaAllah we are working on it juga kan. We want to look at different distribution strategy, and I think when we do this kind of session kan, dia mengingatkan kita juga sebagai businessman untuk improve kita punya game all the time. Kan, and also he created a brand that is about experience. Kan, kalau kita tengok dia ada buat dia punya music event kan, dia buat dia punya running sports event lah, macam-macam lah dia sponsor, and dia sponsor bagi air je bro. Apparently lah, dia cerita kan, dia bagi air je. So even the music festival dia buat sendiri je. He didn't even hire outsider to do it kan. So I thought that was a very smart thing to do juga untuk naikkan you punya brand, and then also to create like a cult culture.
Correct.
Kan, kalau brand kita buat experience macam ni, dia ingat lah bro. In fact I think Coca-Cola also do similar strategy juga, which is to play with emotions. And kalau kita tengok iklan-iklan Coca-Cola kan, family laughter, and then pergi main snow ke, ataupun all the happy memories, birthday party, dia akan gunakan all the shots kan. So I think he did very well. And today pun kita tengok dia buat collaboration dengan Mary Bulan Bintang. Dia buat collaboration Bulan Bintang. Clothing. Padahal macam air clothing macam tak berapa kena je kalau ikutkan daripada segi logik akal kan. Tapi I think this guy is a genius lah.
Basically you tap into lifestyle lah. Basically kehidupan seharian seseorang kan, dengan baju, clothing and all that.
So I think it's a genius move lah untuk buat benda tu. And then apparently it's all sold out, not just in Bulan Bintang bro, but it's all sold out in everywhere. So maksudnya John kena belajar lebih on supply supply chain. Aku dah.
Tapi I juga nak highlight yang John ada mention juga yang pasal dia dalam industri yang F&B yang bergaduh, fight dengan brand-brand yang besar yang ada duit, Coca-Cola and all this, right? So dia kena fikir kreatif kan. And beberapa session kita buat dengan especially entrepreneurs, especially dengan bapak aku juga kan, that haven't released yet. So he also, dia tekankan sangat creativity ni dalam bila buat business. Nak 1000 daya tak nak 1000 dalih. So you cari jalan dengan apa benda yang kita ada. So for him, dia ada tenaga, dia ada the grassroots and the relationship atau apa-apa sahaja dalam dia punya ni, apa nama dia, dekat Malaysia ni. So dia fight guna benda tu, buat konsert kan, pergi naik motor dengan Harley Davidson punya group.
Lepas tu dia berkawan dengan Alif Sata. Pandai dia marketing free.
Pandai John. Dia pergi buat Iron Man. So he gunakan benda-benda, gunakan diri sendiri, jasa diri sendiri tu.
Betul.
His own body.
Jasad tu.
Jasa pula. Dia punya own jasad untuk buat marketing untuk ni, to fight dengan Coca-Cola and all this. Kan,
so
to be different.
I think this guy one day mungkin boleh ada movie pasal dia.
Tu lah.
And dia akan jadi, I think one day Houseboom will be a global player.
Correct.
Mark my words lah. But I think it will definitely be a global player, because what is there to need? It's just about distribution.
Yes.
Then you go in countries, you buat marketing kan.
Betul.
So I think that one is impressive. And also when you talk about buat guna jasad dia tu, I remember juga dia cerita pasal COVID. Kan, when dia terpaksa jual durian tepi jalan. So I thought, for a businessman of his stature, right? That is not something easy. But then I think dia buang segala ego kan, dia buang segala perasaan malu, and he earned an honest living by doing that.
Betul. So there's no harm, and dia tak ada patutnya sifat malu untuk nak buat apa-apa tu. We should just throw it away.
Betul. And macam contoh kan, aku tengok macam baru ni viral juga kisah Datuk Red tu. I think I told you about it, right?
You told me about it.
Wak ni dia tak tengok sangat TikTok, so dia tak apa tahu Datuk Red ni kan. But I think now you know lah kan, Datuk Red. So dia pun, he was quite successful. I think it was Datuk Sri juga. Started jual sayur, and then after that he went into property, and then got things turn south lah basically.
Not so ni lah.
And then
favorable,
terduduk bankrupt. And then recently dia viral. Dia viral because dia cerita lah tentang dia punya what happened to him. He almost wanted to give up already bro. Dia macam memang dekat social media tu macam nak give up lah. And then people started to support him. And then things turn kan. Ada one of my friend juga, Abang Tesla dengan Haji Oli.
Abang Tesla kawan kau?
Abang Tesla kawan aku. Haji Oli tu pun kawan aku juga. I mean we start belajar sekali dulu kat Ishraq kan. So they took the wave lah, aku rasa kan. Dia pun pandai jual keberaya time ni. So dia menggunakan Datuk Red ni, tapi dia tak adalah kata menggunakan in the bad way. Tapi this is business
opportunity lah. You take opportunity. Apa yang you nampak, you execute lah.
You execute. And I think benda tu pun menunjukkan yang you tak payah malu. Betul tak? Kalau you terduduk macam mana pun, you tak payah malu, because you earn an honest living, people will support you. Kan? I don't know lah, ada orang kata dia scammer lah apa semua ni, aku tak sure. Tapi aku rasa as a human being, tak apa je untuk kita support as long as dia tak ada buat benda yang tak baik lah.
Yes.
As long as trying to earn an honest living.
Correct. So kita kena buang lah malu tu. And macam kita punya salah satu guest kita cakap, pergi mampus apa? Pergi mampus apa orang cakap?
Pergi mampus dengan mulut orang.
Pergi mampus dengan mulut orang. So as an entrepreneur, I rasa that is one key takeaway yang kita kena ada dalam kita punya sifat lah. Pergi mampus apa orang nak cakap.
Betul. Also it showcase that kalau kau punya business tengah down ke apa, you have to keep going.
Correct.
Kan?
Correct.
You don't give up.
Yep.
And I think at this point ramai orang perlu dengar benda ni. Because I saw some people on TikTok apa semua, diorang kata macam business is too high, economy is too bad apa semua sekarang kan. But don't give up, keep going. Sebab once you give up, that is when everything dah tak ada harapan lah. But as long as you keep going, there's always a way out. And then I think, you know, we also went to we met with a few prospect sponsors, right? So kita pun tahu juga sebenarnya government pun ada offer some grants, especially businesses yang dah lama apa semua. So maybe you guys can also explore kan apa yang boleh, and then mungkin if you have some relationship with the banks, I think this is the time. And I think I've met with some bankers juga bila on social events, and they tell me lah banyak orang business tengah down apa semua, and they always say like kita bukan hanya nak berada dengan customer tu masa customer tu tengah naik je. You know, bila you punya business tengah naik, semua orang offer you loan kan.
Betul.
And then dia cakap this is actually the time untuk kita support balik kita punya customers kan, because I think this is the time that a lot of businesses would need some support kan. And I think if we wave kita, you know, right through this wave kan, I think there will be a light at the end of the tunnel.
InsyaAllah.
Kan? There's always, you know, Allah dia takkan uji umatnya yang sampai kita tak boleh.
Betul.
Kan? There's always
Allah akan cuma uji kita setakat mana yang kita boleh mampu.
Yes, exactly. So aku pun nampak juga banyak juga positive comment dekat YouTube, and ramai juga suggest untuk panggil adik dia Mary.
Oh yes. Yes.
So I think ni penting. Kalau Mary tengah tengok ni, Mary tolong nanti I hope kita boleh set satu date lah untuk Mary datang sini. Mary punya kedai pun, butik
depan
pun ada dekat je.
Betul.
Kan? So mana tahu masa tengah-tengah buat closing lepas raya nanti kan.
Sebelum raya kita rasa bersalah lah nak kacau.
Lepas
tapi
raya.
ni dah lepas raya, tak ada alasan lah kot.
Kan, lepas tu mana tahu dia tengah pergi butik dia nak kira duit kan. Raya
singgah lah sekejap.
Kita sembang-sembang dah kan.
I tak kenal Mary, tapi I tengok you punya Instagram, nampak macam a very nice guy.
Very.
And you know, probably boleh share lah sedikit kisah-kisah you. I pun teringin nak tahu sebenarnya
kan.
Yes.
So Mary, kalau tengok ni tolong Mary.
Yep.
Alright. So we're going to take a short break.
Yep.
Lepas ni kita akan bercakap tentang episod bersama dengan a few more of our guests.
Yep.
So
let's take a break. Alright, welcome back after our break. So because episode ni pertama sekali yang kita buat, so the structure we need to restructure sikit kita punya plans and whatnot kan. So now we're gonna talk a little bit about
the second
episode, one of yang kita pick yang kita dapat banyak belajar. Tapi before that, what's your plans up for Raya this year?
So insyaAllah pagi esok aku akan balik Jakarta. So we're going to have our raya in Jakarta for the first time lah.
Wow.
Macam sebelum ni kita tak pernah raya kat Jakarta. So
tak pernah langsung sejak
after 9 years, this is the first time lah aku akan balik raya kat sana.
Excited tak?
Quite excited. To be honest, I'm quite excited. I feel like it will be a good macam break jugalah. A good break and a good macam ni lah, just to carpe diem lah orang kata, just to enjoy the moment with the kids and my wife and her family kan. So what about you? What's your plan?
I'm just thinking mercun bro.
And mercun pun sekarang dah legal
kind of. Ada some kedai-kedai dia memang tulis berlesen. Tak tahu dia you print je ke berlesen.
I think
memang betul-betul
Malaysia dah legalize dah.
I see.
Mercun, which I think was a good move.
Yep.
I think it was done by Anthony Loke.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think it happened like last year ke ataupun masa Chinese New Year. Something like that, but it's legal now.
Understand? So in my family, I'm the mastermind lah. Kalau bab fireworks ni, so I take it as macam buat satu show. So aku susun schedule. First tembak ni, lepas tu tembak fountain. Lepas fountain buat ni, lepas tu finale, the grand finale. Tapi they say this year we shouldn't celebrate too much pasal with everything yang going on dekat Middle East with the war and all that, we should still sikit je lah. So it's more towards having that kemeriahan dan dengan keluarga aku lah.
But I think having them in our thoughts and prayers all the time. We try to celebrate and at the same time doakan untuk diorang pun,
insyaallah
free Palestine kan. Insyaallah.
Alright, so let's move on to our second episode that we want to talk about. So the second episode will be
Mr. Riyad,
my ex-boss, Riyad Asmat. So as you would know, it is my favourite episode. So ni kena orang panggil political
politically correct.
Politically correct. So I have to say that it's my favourite episode.
Oh, okay. You have to say
I have to say.
Sebab your dad punya episode belum release lagi.
Belum release. Lepas tu you kena fikir, kena tukar sikit. So but like I said, my pendapat is that it's my favourite. What do you think of the episode?
I think of course it was a really good episode. But of course a lot of things to take away juga. But I think it would be nice to hear from you. What are your key takeaway from Riyad episode?
Alright. So because I've worked with him for roughly about 6 years plus. So memang dia salah satu guru I lah. So like how you have your guru, he was my guru, especially dalam dunia korporat ni. Kan? So in the session ada 2 benda yang saya belajar berbeza daripada apa yang 6 tahun yang aku belajar ni lah. So it's 2 things. Satu adalah peranan ibu. Apa yang seseorang ibu cakap kepada anak dia. Because I always admire Riyad punya keberanian dan tak kisah apa orang cakap.
Betul.
Untuk menegakkan apa yang dia fikir dan menegakkan apa yang betul. So dia memang selalu cakap, the minute yang kita risau yang kita akan kena buang kerja, masa tu kita stop buat kerja kita. Pasal kita akan buat apa yang orang suka je, tapi bukan apa yang patut. So that's what he always say. That's number 1. Number 2, he also said that bila kita masuk, pasal dia dah pernah masuk beberapa organisation yang berbeza-beza, daripada F1 ke Proton ke NASA dan AirAsia. Tapi dia cakap bila masuk dalam satu organisation tu, dia tengok 3 benda je. Level 3 benda tu, then you boleh plan and apa yang you nak buat, which is satu, infrastructure, apa infrastructure yang dah ada dalam organisation tu. 2 is dia punya manpower, and ketiga adalah dia punya resources. So that is 2 things yang I dapat tangkap. And I also nak highlight juga peranan ibu tu kan. I also admire I saw Tia punya posting baru ni. Even Tia tengah pergi dekat Absolute atau apa?
No, that was Celeb Fest, I think.
Celeb Fest dekat Singapore. And I think TikTok ke or
I think it was on TikTok. It was on Instagram juga.
Di mana Tia biar Arif anak kau dengan Tia jual jamu. So this
Arif jual jiwaku.
Jiwaku, sorry, which is dia punya own business lah, right? Dia punya own lah. So even orang turn down, dia tak malu. So this small things yang kita kadang-kadang rasa remeh kepada anak, which I think instill akan buat seseorang macam Riyad. Mak dia selalu cakap dekat dia, which he shared dalam session tu kan. Daripada kecil lagi mak dia dah cakap dengan dia, there is nobody out there that is bigger than you. Right? And
even Riyad physically dia kecil kan.
Physically Riyad is a bit small. Even me, I'm taller than him. Right? But mak dia dah instill daripada kecil, there is nobody bigger than you in this world. So he could pergi layan Mak Saleh. Kan kita kadang-kadang malu kan nak cakap dengan Mak Saleh or nak lead lagi Mak Saleh kan. But no problem for him. So
and I think that's very admirable lah, macam dia punya keberanian tu.
Correct.
When he was one of the first Malaysian principal of F1 team, working with so many Mak Saleh apa semua, but dia macam take the challenge kan.
In terms of what he shared, he always say dalam kita punya podcast tu pun, he said what is the asset yang dia kena jagakan, which is people. Betul. And that is also aligned dengan AirAsia punya culture. I was just from Tony kasih town hall juga pagi tadi. He also said the same thing. What made us and what buat AirAsia kat mana it is today is people. So go back to culture. The whole town hall is all about culture, right? So culture tu is very important, and being in AirAsia when time Riyadh tu, waktu Riyadh masuk, I'm pretty sure kadang-kadang kita masuk mana-mana organisasi or kerja mana-mana, kita nak bawa geng kita, jadi kita tahu boleh execute. Tapi selama 6 tahun yang I kerja dengan Riyadh, tak ada satu pun orang yang dia bawa daripada luar.
Kau lah jadi geng dia?
Aku memang masuk, lepas tu jadi to support dia lah. Tapi bukan dia punya
tapi
geng sebelum.
Geng kat situ
jadi
lah.
geng kat situ, betul. But dia gunakan apa resources, macam dia cakap, that tiga benda yang you tengok. So dia guna each orang or each benda apa-apa yang around him, especially people, to the best advantage. Dia tahu skill dia ni apa, fahamkan orang tu, and gunakan kepada max potential. And ada banyak kebaikan dari situ juga, because bila you tak bawa orang lain and orang respect, especially orang yang dah kerja 10 tahun, 15 tahun, 20 tahun dalam AirAsia, and you a new guy coming in, and you datang, you bawa masuk orang-orang you suka hati you, right? Mesti orang hilang respect, betul tak?
Betul.
Cakap, dia ni datang, dia nak tukar semua benda, dia nak bawa orang dia, kan? So people will nampak different lah.
Negatif
lah, kan? Yeah. So you don't see that immediately, tapi selepas 2-3 tahun, pasal I quite lama, 6 tahun dengan dia, so I nampak bila I minta tolong siapa-siapa, cakap untuk Riyadh, orang akan jump to it. Cakap, for Riyadh can. Tak kisahlah pukul berapa, tak kisahlah apa, bila it's for Riyadh, people take it to heart and nak tolong, because they appreciate the leadership yang tak tukar-tukar ni. So ini adalah salah satu pelajaran yang kita dapat daripada session dengan Riyadh Asmat, which can be applied by siapa-siapa lah.
Betul.
Alright, so I think that's pretty much a little bit of our session. Do you have anything up to add on dengan Riyadh punya session?
I think it's good, kan? I think we learn a lot, definitely on leadership. And he's quite young also.
Betul.
Retired young.
Yes, correct.
So I think it was a great session lah.
Alright, so now we move on to our next guest punya episode, which is Boss Kepada Boss.
Yes.
Alright, just now we did my ex-boss Riyadh, so now boss dia punya boss,
so
which is Tan Sri Syed Zainal.
So I think Tan Sri Syed Zainal was Riyadh's boss dekat Pro 2
dekat Proton.
Yeah,
he was the managing director. Tan Sri Syed Zainal was the managing director, and then Riyadh was dia punya
Sales
general
office.
manager.
General manager
dalam dia punya office.
Yeah. So I think macam awak cakap boss kepada boss. And I think to be honest, this is probably one of my favorite episode ever.
Yes. I think towards the viewers out there pun kan. Looking at the comments,
I think Tan Sri ni one thing, dia ada a very deep and a nice voice.
Correct.
Radio voice tau, bro.
Betul.
And then in fact, bro, he told us juga, tapi masa tu kita tak record, kita tengah sebelum. So he actually did football commentary juga.
Betul.
When he was working, right, if I'm not mistaken. So
for
he did,
1 year, right? I think quite lama juga.
So I think that's why dia macam develop dia punya radio voice tu lah.
Correct.
So I think memang best dia punya cerita, and I like juga dia punya episode ni pasal he's like a really good storyteller.
Correct.
I remember juga story yang di kat Cambodia. Cerita pasal
pistol.
dia
satu peluru untuk kalau apa-apa jadi, bukannya untuk tembak orang tu, untuk tembak diri sendiri.
Betul. Bro, that's crazy, man. And then macam mana he went and set up Petronas, right, dekat sana, and how he accounted apa semua ni, tapi he managed to pull through. And I think the way the story was told pun kan, it was really entertaining. It was seronok lah untuk kita dengar dia punya experience tu. And experience dia terlalu banyak tau. And with all these big companies kan, dia buat benda-benda yang he created a big impact juga kan. And dia juga share macam mana before he started the King of the Road, Myvi. Kan, he went to Japan and learn from Japanese ni kan. Dia kena
Toyota.
duduk, dia kena learn.
That time Daihatsu.
And then macam mana dia kena learn
from observation.
Duduk je kat tempat yang sama.
Betul.
Kan, seminggu kena buat benda yang sama kan. And then orang yang darah muda marah kan. And then not happy, but then from there he got to learn a lot about observation, sampai I think when he went to Myvi, they launched Myvi, and that was one of the biggest seller ever.
Correct.
Kan? And then after that pula, they went to Proton, and then similarly they alignkan balik all the apa orang panggil?
Dia punya basically
platforms.
dia punya apa? Manufacturing punya
manufacturing platforms
Yup.
dia kan, dia alignkan balik, so you know they were more cost effective and things like that. So I think it's very respectable lah for a Malaysian to be able to learn from the Japanese and then bawa balik sini and apply benda tu. Kan? And I remember juga dia cakap pasal 7Y.
Wah, itu I terus pakai. Now apa-apa problems yang kita ada dekat dalam my businesses, I akan tanya 7 kali juga. Yes.
Sampai lalai cakap ni semua masalah kau lah.
If it is, then it will be, aku tak approve cepat sangat, for example, right? After you're asking 7 wives, right?
Yeah.
So normally after the third, fourth wife, because kita punya business still baru, so normally third, fourth wife dah dapat the source.
The source of the problem. Correct. So I think this episode juga adalah number 1 performing for the CEO series.
Correct.
In fact dekat aku punya TikTok ada almost like 500,000 views.
Yeah, I saw
for
that.
his shorts.
Yeah.
And I think people enjoyed the whole episode lah, and I think we also got a lot of positive comment jugalah.
Yep.
And of course there are some episode not so positive, can some episode more positive kan.
Yep.
So the next one,
the next guest.
Yep, the next guest.
Yeah, but I nak share satu benda pasal yang Tan Sri
Syed Zainal. Sorry,
Tan Sri Syed Zainal punya episode. I met Farah. Kau ingat Farah?
Farah mana?
Farah Hassan.
Okay,
yeah. So Farah Hassan is a friend. So
also she was Tune.
Yeah, from Tune Talk.
Yeah.
So dia cakap every year dia selalu dapat jemputan pergi raya dekat rumah Tan Sri Syed Zainal. But she didn't go.
Okay.
Dia cakap this year dia nak pergi. After watching kita punya episode tu, dia cakap wow, it's a very 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 good episode. Right? Because
ni bukan angkat bakul sendiri
Bukan angkat siapa? Kita. Tak. It's about the guests, right? We can as hosts we can only do as much, kan? But it's really the guest is
the guest carries a lot of the weight.
Correct. Betul for the content, podcast. Correct. So Farah said this year I'm definitely going just to meet him. Because after ni, right? So just wanted to share with our viewers.
So hopefully tahun ni bila Tan Sri tengah beraya kat rumah tu, ramai lah orang datang kat dia cakap pasal podcast ni. At least dia pun rasa macam okay, berbaloi lah aku buat podcast tu kan.
So let's move on to our next episode yang kita pilih untuk nak talk about, which is Tan Sri Wahid Umar.
Wow.
Yes, Tan Sri Wahid Umar, Masya Allah. He's a very very, I cakap, seseorang manusia yang amatlah terhormat. I would say
humble lah.
Humble yang teramatlah humble. Because I tak pernah really betul-betul sembang dengan dia as much as you do. But I met him last time, like I said, dekat waktu dekat London waktu mak I sakit. So this one I tell you, he was really really good, and I was really really amazed dah. The whole episode we talked about how good he was, and how, because when you read on all the macam exercise, kita panggil corporate exercise, basically bila masuk dalam sesuatu organisasi tu, lepas tu kita tengok apa yang kita nak kena buat, for example untuk to get to point A to point B. So every time yang dia buat exercise tu, semua dia akan cakap team effort. Tak ada satu pun yang dia ambil.
Dia cerita macam aku buat benda ni ke apa kan.
Padahal as CEO, you are the one leading that exercise. Kalau ada any part and parcel of the team yang lacking, you are the one responsible. You are the one that is responsible untuk push that exercise. So technically he deserves
a lot of credit
the credit and also the recognition, right? But he didn't take any. So I was like, Masya Allah, not even one tau. Kalau ada, okay, Alhamdulillah, adalah sikit I punya the most humble lah I would say. Adalah sikit I ni, tak ada tu pun
I contribute pun tak ada.
Satu sikit tu pun tak ada. He didn't take at all. Allah, Masya Allah, hamba Allah yang amatlah respected.
And I like juga for the fact that he came from a very poor family. Bukanlah I like the fact, macam mana maksudnya, his story showcase that the new economic policy yang our forefathers kan, maksudnya kita punya previous administration apa semua ni buat, actually worked out for a lot of the corporate Malays.
Correct.
Kan, in fact kalau kita tengok macam Syed Zainal, even your dad, even my dad to a certain extent, your ATM boy apa semua kan. So they got that opportunity untuk melanjutkan pelajaran, and from there, from education, diorang dapat berjaya untuk macam my dad, dia berjaya masuk bank. Macam your dad pun, I think he went to banking, investment and things like that. Diorang berjaya, and then from there diorang dapat peluang untuk buat business kan. So some of them went into business, like your dad, my dad, they went into business, and some of them stayed in corporate and then became successful in corporate kan. Which I believe kalau your dad atau my dad pun, they stayed on the corporate journey, mungkin today pun dia orang pun, you know, with the way they apa bawa diri dia orang, the way dia orang bekerja kan. I think they would be, you know, one of the top figures juga, but
in the corporate ni
in the corporate lah, kalau they stayed there lah kan. Probably my dad pun probably be a bank chairman, tak tahulah kan, but that's you know, I would imagine it to be like that lah.
Correct.
And it's impressive lah to see how actually policies of the government can actually impact the people punya life. So actually being a politician ni, sebenarnya benda yang berat tau.
Betul.
Kan, benda yang berat, and
dia punya tanggungjawab tu.
Tanggungjawab tu. And of course, I think because of that juga, Tan Sri, he was very thankful to the government, which is why he accepted when Datuk Sri Najib invited him to be
in the minister of PM office, right?
PM
as a
office.
Minister for economic.
Yeah, I think he under EPU or something like that. So I think, you know, amazing lah to see how actually, you know, how far actually the Malays has come.
Actually Malaysia ni banyak opportunity kan. And kalau kita betul-betul tengok and usaha and nak try, I've heard and met a few people yang have benefited kan. Like for example, apa yang Boss Mu apa that one young Boss Moon young boy, I heard from Idris that he got grant, and even some of my friends yang I tahu,
I think he was UiTM or something kan, then he got the grant, betul?
Betul.
So and from there he started the business, and then today he's quite successful in what he's doing. 19 years old boy.
19 tahun. So apa nama dia, if you really tengok luar sana and talk to people, tengok apa, actually Malaysia ni quite the infrastructure and possibilities yang out there tu macam-macam. Macam-macam.
But of course, I think in the end of the day, people akan bagi kat you kalau you ada the right attitude.
Betul.
Kan, kalau dia nampak you ni adalah orang yang buat kerja.
Betul.
And then you kalau boleh ada track record, ataupun you pergi belajar. Macam Moon, mungkin bos Moon dapat from the education kan. So I think in the end of the day, it showcase that education is very important. And kalau kita ingat balik kan cerita Tan Sri Wahid, kan dia budak kampung.
Correct.
And then I like juga dia pergi dapat masuk MRSM, and they felt like it was an upgrade kan.
Correct.
So for me, you know, it really proves that education is super important.
Betul.
No such thing as macam tak belajar pun tak apa.
Betul.
Of course, kalau you tak boleh belajar, ada macam, you know, dyslexia ke apa ke, yang memang tak boleh fokus ke apa, okay lah you nak pergi buat business. Some people ada different ni kan. Tapi for most people, in order for you to be successful in life, education is key. Especially lah kalau you tak ada any advantage. Especially when you come from, contohlah dia memang tak ada any advantage lah kan, datang daripada keluarga susah apa semua. The only way out is actually education.
Betul. Because like you said, the difference between seseorang dengan seseorang, kita sama je dalam manusia. Bila meninggal pun sama je. Masuk kubur yang sama, jasad yang sama, tapi perbezaan dia is your mind and the knowledge that you have, right? So similar from knowledge, just knowledge yang Tan Sri Wahid dapat through his hard working days, pergi belajar and all that. The knowledge transformed his life daripada where he was to where he is now. Kan, is the knowledge lah. And I have one story also here. It is after I can't remember one of the podcast, I pergi, pasal I memang pakai Maybank. I pergi Maybank, lepas tu tengah sembang dengan the teller yang dekat tu kan.
Nak ambil duit lah.
Nak ambil duit lah. Lepas tu
nak ambil duit pergi beli merchant.
Tak ada. So nak ambil duit. Lepas tu I cerita lah dengan dia, I buat ni. I cerita dengan dia, I syarat no kan. Pasal kebanyakan, you know, Malays, they all like penyanyi and all that. So then I say, you guys Maybank kan? You dah berapa lama? So she's been in Maybank for about 25 or 28 years je tu. So I said, hari tu kita buat ni Tan Sri Wahid Umar. Oh, you ni bagus. Ni CEO kita yang paling power, dia cakap itu. And he said during dia punya time, even sampai ke teller punya level can dapat merasakan dia punya leadership. So I find it very I was amazed lah. Dekat bank tu cakap wow. Even at level mana-mana level pun dapat rasa Tan Sri Wahid punya leadership. So and dia punya approach tu is a bit different, right? Tan Sri Wahid macam when we did Tan Sri Zainal, we did Riyadh, because Tan Sri Zainal is boss kepada boss. So diorang punya cara tu,
leadership style tu similar.
Observation, going to the ground and solve problems. Kan? 7Y is all about solving problem. But Tan Sri Wahid punya cara tu
strategic.
It's very strategic thinking. Okay, point A to point B, execute. Kan? And he said you put dia punya milestone and all that linking towards people punya remuneration. And so when dia rasa dia punya perjalanan tu towards point B tu, and where are we, they're very very much strategic. So
and also very structured lah, I would say. Organized and structured. And I think dia antara orang bijak lah, bro. Orang cerdik lah.
Betul, orang cerdik.
And I just wanted to address sikit lah, Wak. I think because dia sangat cerdik, membuatkan kita mungkin as a host yang baru ni nampak tak berapa cerdik. Kan? So mungkin kepada kita punya audience yang mana rasa that episode ada tak kena ke apa, kita minta maaf. I think
Sempena Raya ni juga kita minta maaf.
I think macam of course both of us we are not really professional host. This is our 13th episode, so kita tengah belajar lah.
Betul.
And kita pun try our best kan. We ada sampai ambil kelas apa semua kan. We try to learn lah. Tapi at the same time, nothing beats experience. Nothing beats the time you put in a certain thing for you to be good at it. So I think we are putting in the clock now. Kan kita pun dapatkan some guests lagi high, orang kata dia punya statue sangat tinggi lah. Different level. But we also go for guests yang mungkin similar to our age apa semua kan. So that we have different ni lah kan. And so I minta maaf juga. And I think mungkin kita nak address sikit ada isu juga di mana ada orang suggest untuk kita tukar host. And then I think,
and kalau dia cakap kalau you have to just throw one person, let it be Ishraq.
kan. But I think of course kita boleh gelak pasal benda ni, but at the same time I think, what do you feel when you get this kind of comment?
Honestly, I was pretty much affected juga sedikit, because I grew up in a family yang quite close knit. Kita not really exposed to the public, because my I'm not sure, because my family is not unlike your family. You guys are
kita dah ter-expose.
Correct, dah ter-expose, quite well known in the public. So it kind of like koyak sikit kan. Especially when I read the comments myself, I felt like wow, because I always think that we are progressing well, and I'm quite positive person for people yang kenal I, quite positive, but actually quite affected juga the feeling tu kan. Jadi baru I tahu dapat rasa perasaan orang-orang yang, especially orang-orang yang famous, artis ke, yourself, and people yang Tony, especially yang paling terdekat dengan I, Tony Fernandez, bila dia kena bang pasal kapal terbang, pasal AirAsia, all that, I kind of like dapat rasa that feeling, and it's really really not nice But as we all are trained and also entrepreneurs, we take it in positively. And like I said to you, bila you cakap it's okay it's okay, when you were calming me down and all that, I said like, yes up, you know what, but the minute somebody cakap satu benda tu, maksudnya dia valid, pasal tu perasaan dia, and tu apa diorang rasa, and diorang rasa yang kena tukar host, right? So but I even said to you, if that is what it needs for Apa Cerita to be where we want to be, let me do it. And then you calm me down, say relax.
I think at the same time macam sama juga macam the people that we've interviewed before kan. Bila diorang buat business ke apa, of course there's always setbacks. There's always nasty things people say about you. Alah dia ni macam ni, dia ni macam tu. Betul. Kan. Macam Riyad kan, alah dia boleh lah dia anak Tan Sri apa semua kan. So for me, we have to take it as a burning desire for us to like improve and to be better. Kan, and like I said, it takes time for us.
Yep.
Kan, mungkin macam kau lagi lah, kau bukannya biasa bersembang orang pun. Like in general lah kan. Macam sebelum-sebelum ni bukannya kau macam jenis macam aku suka juga cari orang untuk bersembang.
Yes.
Kan. So I think it's a new chart of territory for you also.
Correct.
But I think you have done really well, kan? Especially throughout this whole journey lah. I think you have improved juga, and I think if we put more work into it, and aku tahu lah sometimes mungkin benda macam ni akan melemahkan semangat sikit sebab for me of course lah, kita buat benda ni percuma, kan, kena keluar duit, kena dapat kecam pula, padahal niat kita baik, niat kita just nak sampaikan ilmu yang bermanfaat je. Kan, but tiba-tiba kena komen macam ni. But I think insyaAllah lah, kalau niat kita betul, insyaAllah Allah pemudahkan kita punya urusan, and insyaAllah lah kalau ada orang yang dapat apa-apa manfaat daripada kita punya sessions, kita dapat pahala tu. So we just think about apa benda yang kita boleh dapat daripada benda ni.
Yes, correct. So I think I just want to say sorry personally, and also as a group Apa Cerita, minta maaf dari segi apa-apa kelemahan. Tapi insyaAllah we will work triple as harder, lagi letak lagi lebih usaha, right? Bukannya kita tak letak usaha sebelum ni, we did sometimes tak tidur malam to prepare, but we will do even, kita akan letak lebih usaha lah, insyaAllah.
And I think dah kita tengah bercakap pasal topik ni, I think also kita patut juga mention lah kepada semua, actually kita bukanlah buat podcast ni untuk sebulan dua ni je, kan. We have big plans, kan. We want
long
to
term lah.
we want to at least this year we want to have 50 episodes.
Betul.
Untuk tahun ni at least setiap minggu lah. Mungkin adalah 1-2 minggu masa raya ke, masa Deepavali ke, bila kita terpaksa ada skip, but in total kita nak ada 50 episod untuk tahun ni. Kita started on the 1st January. So insyaAllah sampai akhir tahun pun kita akan still buat, and of course next year we want to continue lagi. And I hope you guys bear with us. Apa yang penting adalah apa yang kita dapat untuk guest tu.
Betul.
And for example mungkinlah kita boleh cari host lain gantikan kita. Tapi bagi I, it's the relationship we have with the guest juga yang membuatkan guest tu lebih nak datang.
Betul.
Kalau some random person just want to interview you, kan, kita just panggil some random guest untuk just some random host untuk interview, I think it wouldn't have the same type of conversation.
Faham?
Kan. So aku nak benda ni jadi more raw. Macam mana kalau uncle tu datang rumah aku, how I would ask him questions.
Faham?
Kan. And of course aku banyak tanya orang pasal gaji. Kan, kat dalam ni mungkin tak boleh tanya sangat, tapi I like to ask questions. So I want it to be as raw as possible.
Faham?
Lah. Kan.
So we have no choice. I mean, like I said to up maybe just remove me but cannot. We will work hard lah.
And
to make it.
We started it together.
Correct.
So we have to finish what we started, man.
Yes. So we will still go on strong, and I will use that as a burning desire to lebih fokus lah dalam kelas. Kerja lebih kuat.
Ni cikgu kita tengok ni cakap betul tu.
Yes. Let's take a quick break, and we continue next with our final episode, and then we can move on to the closing for this Raya Special Edition
Apa Cerita Original.
Yes. Terima kasih. Alright, so
welcome back to Apa Cerita Podcast. Okay, so kita nak terus move to the next episode lah.
Yes, the final one that we will be discussing dalam Raya Edition ni.
Betul, and that is Aisyah Hijana.
Correct.
Okay, Aisyah Hijana punya episode ni I think number one lah dekat YouTube kita sekarang ni. Correct. Dah mendahului John.
Itulah.
Hari tu John ada message juga cakap, dah kena potong. But I think Aisyah as a person is dia punya storytelling pun best.
Yes, betul.
And dia punya storytelling best tu satu. And then at the same time I think perjalanan hidup dia pun sangat interesting lah.
Correct.
And from anak yatim ataupun anak yang kehilangan bapa, and then mak dia pula tak boleh bercakap daripada dia kecil, and then dia menumpang kat rumah orang and things like that. So I think that made her become a strong person. Betul. And then someone yang really want a male figure in her life.
Yes.
So bila dia berjumpa dengan Alif tu, I think she gave her heart and soul lah kepada Alif. And I think their love story pun kan, how she took things. And baru ni dia baru deliver the baby.
I saw dekat Instagram.
Congratulations kepada Aisyah.
Congratulations.
Dan juga Alif kan dah keluar baby. So her life story tu bagi I sangat inspiring.
Yes.
And of course a lot of people pun suka juga dengan cerita dia. And I think one of the thing yang dia share juga adalah percintaan dia dengan Alif.
Yep.
And daripada percintaan tu dia orang buat bisnes sama-sama. Mungkin setengah orang tu macam rasa buat bisnes lelaki bini ni tak best. Kan, tapi dia membuktikan sebenarnya is possible lah untuk buat bisnes lelaki bini ni kan. And then can make it to become very successful juga. And I think the last yang I nampak juga adalah kesetiaan Aisyah lah.
Itu something yang I think kita boleh pelajari amat dalam lah for that, right?
I think of course dia punya episode banyak juga kita cerita personal punya benda, but it doesn't take away the fact that she's also a very successful entrepreneur. Kan, di mana kita tengok dia punya brand Aisyah Hijana, dia jual baju, jual jubah apa semua pun doing really well juga. Dia punya buku pun one of the top seller juga. So I think as an episode, I think it was quite enjoyable lah to watch, and I think a lot of key takeaways jugalah. So what do you think about the episode?
Salah satu takeaways that I can mention is dia dengan Alif dua-dua adalah seseorang yang mementingkan agama. So dia punya business is very related to agama, and I rasa throughout dia punya journey tu is like Tuhan ada protect tau, because daripada berkat yang dorang buat, and even before dorang start business pun dorang share pasal agama, things about agama, right? So you can't go wrong there basically. Kan, I rasa
kalau pegangan dia tu
betul
sangat kuat kan.
Yes, so Tuhan lindung dan guide. And because dorang buat buku sold out, and when they buat this they launch butik ni, insyaAllah dengan, because like we have had beberapa session, dunia bisnes ni dia tak straight line, it's berliku-liku.
Betul.
So you need a point, macam Riyad highlight, even Tan Sri Syed Zainal cakap waktu dia launch tu Al-Fatihah in every meeting. Everything yang especially yang mana yang Muslim yang kita buat, you can see the strength of barakah.
Betul.
And I also strongly believe in that.
Betul. Right? And kita boleh, I think this is famously quoted by your father lah. Kita, dalam setiap perniagaan kita sebenarnya ada partner. And partner kita ni sebenarnya Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala.
Betul.
So whatever yang kita buat, there's always a portion for him.
Betul.
Kan, so buat benda ke jalan Allah, and then always put Allah first. And I think benda ni benda yang macam mana, it's a formula awak. You buat benda ni, you jadi benda ni.
Betul.
Kan, kalau you tak buat benda ni, contoh kita solat pun tunggang terbalik, solat pun tak tak buat betul-betul, kita tak ada kesedaran terhadap agama.
Agreed.
Hidup kita akan macam ke laut sikit.
Betul.
Macam apa,
tak ada point lah.
Tak ada point lah. But bila you ada pegangan yang kuat tu, kat situ I tengok most people become super successful. Kan? So I think that is a very strong point lah.
Yes.
And insyaAllah I think for Alif and Aisyah pun they will become more successful juga.
Betul. And using the same point juga, Ashraf Aisyah shared dia punya challenges kan, especially dengan yang terbaru-baru, what happened to her with their marriage. Still she took it positively. And take it as a as a lesson, and also yang Allah knows best. This happens untuk kebaikan dia juga, pasal dia terlampau sayangkan Alif. So to teach her that tak boleh sayangkan sesuatu, kalau nak sayangkan sesuatu tu tak boleh sayang berlebih-lebihan.
Put Allah first lah.
Betul.
Macam mana pun first tu yang akan stay kan.
Betul. Can you imagine that? So I will also take yang I kena bank, suruh tukar host tu as Allah yang susun for that, so that kita boleh
jadi yang lebih baik.
Correct. Buat kerja lebih bagus and training lebih. Pasal I tak refer balik kita punya pointers I belum, tapi sekarang I akan study lebih daripada kau
Bahaya, takut lepas ni dia orang kata tukar host satu lagi pula.
The competition is on. But healthy competition.
I think apa kita buat benda ni, niat kita is to make sure that everybody boleh manfaat daripada apa yang kita buat ni.
Kita stick balik kepada kita punya mission for Apa Cerita lah.
Yes. Okay, let's go and read some of the comments yang kita punya team
Let's see. So as a first one up, but from Luna Star 1925. So she said that, again, kindly provide Bahasa Melayu subtitles for your Malay speaking subscribers. It's not fair to speak in English without subtitles. Please note of this. Please take note of this. Thank you.
So tak fair juga dia tulis ni bahasa English.
Itulah betul lah juga kan. When I was reading it also, aku terfikir ke, kau tulis bahasa Melayu, kau tulis
boleh subtitle.
Exactly.
No, I think
she's
thank
very
you.
thoughtful, very thoughtful untuk to fikirkan for everybody.
I think betul lah. Memang kita pun we will try to improve.
Correct.
We will try in our future episodes untuk dapatkan some funding untuk kita dapatkan orang untuk buat benda ni juga kan.
Correct.
Sebab macam saya cakap lah, kita benda ni self funding, so kita pun still trying to manage our cost. Kan, kita pun tak nak nanti terlalu banyak duit personal kita goes into this, nanti tak cukup nak beli makan nak bini pula kan. Betul.
So we are bukanlah berkira, tapi it's more kita tengah be mindful. This platform is by itself, and kita bukan ada kerja ni je. Kita ada banyak business, business lain yang ada tanggungjawab. Ada banyak staff kat situ yang kita kena, yang diorang punya well-being pun kita kena jaga.
Betul.
So we tengok on priority basis.
Tapi kalau ada siapa yang boleh buat subtitle secara murah,
betul. Kalau nak join kita punya ni team and also perjalanan dan mission kita, kan boleh kedepankan diri.
Bagi price yang kawan-kawan lah.
Betul. Tapi insyaAllah we are working very hard untuk nak dapatkan subtitles ni, right?
And also dapatkan sponsor juga.
Betul. Jadi kita boleh teruskan benda ni. Alright. So
the next second one yang kita nak baca from the Ghost XI.
The Ghost XI. The Ghost ZXI.
Okay. So please call Datuk K and Datuk Din, please. Would love to see them. Okay, so
interesting
basically
story here.
Actually the first masa kita start tu, kita memang sebenarnya dua orang ni lah orang yang pertama yang kita nak panggil. Betul. Which is my father and your father. So sebenarnya Datuk Din punya episode kita dah first kali dah record dah.
Betul.
And then what happened was,
tapi a bit the concept is kita nak start kita punya perjalanan ni dengan penuh barakah. So kita dapat kita buat orang lain, baik kita buat bapak kita dulu untuk nak ambil berkat, dan also kira buat orang dulu lah sebagai as the first episode. But little that we know.
And then my father punya first reaction was, buatlah dulu, tengoklah kalau you punya podcast ni tak ada orang tengok, I don't want to be associated with that. You only want to be associated with a podcast yang ada quality lah. And then the first time yang kita interviewed Datuk Din tu, that morning I bagi tahu dekat my dad, hari ni Uncle Din datang, so if you are free come to the studio lah.
Betul.
And then little did we know kan, my dad betul-betul datang. So bila tengah interview tu, when we saw my dad, kita terus stop sekejap lah.
Kita stop, salam,
and then salam apa semua. And then masa tu my dad started to comment pasal kita punya set up. Masa tu kita tak ada Dis TV, tak ada. And then kita
lampu ada pokok tipu.
Ada pokok tipu yang dia punya tu tak betul. Daun salah. And then kapet murah masa tu.
If you nak tengok the first, you can go back to Amir Syakir. Sorry Amir. We didn't meant it for it to be that way.
Tapi because we actually shot Amir dulu, but we wanted to release Datuk Din dulu.
Betul.
So during that day, bila my dad datang, dia bukanlah complain, dia give his comment pasal all this. And then Datuk Din pun macam, tak apalah, kita buat nanti lah.
Actually kita shoot 2 hari kan.
2 hari. So we have like two segments already lah. So but of course at that time kita pun baru start, and my dad also gave a lot of insightful punya ni lah. Macam dia cakap kita kena ada proper structure soalan kita,
cara kita pun, he's the one that suruh kita pergi training kan. Kalau tak kita langgar je first.
Kita just nak buat je. Lepas tu my dad kata go and train. And then we tried to approach Pak Nil masa tu untuk train, tapi mungkin atas kekangan masa dan juga komitmen. Of course lah, Pak Nil is a big figure kan. Kita budak-budak baru lagi. So kita decided untuk belajar daripada another person lah, which is Yasmin. So Yasmin is one of our guide dan juga mentor lah untuk this whole podcast. And of course kita cubalah belajar sebanyak mungkin. Tapi Wak ni dia nakal sikit, so
tapi okay kan, I guna jugalah.
Tapi banyak yang kita dah try to implement lah. So hopefully we will get better also. And alhamdulillah juga Wak, hari ni I boleh cakap kat my dad. Masa tu dia cakap, kalau you punya view 2,000 je buat apa. Dia kata kan. So alhamdulillah hari ni kita punya view dah mencecah.
Terima kasih kepada semua orang yang dah tengok
and dah mencecah puluhan ribu. And hopefully soon akan jadi ratusan ribu dan kemudian akan jadi jutaan pula, insyaAllah.
Amin insyaAllah.
InsyaAllah.
So I think we just do one last comment from ni. If you guys like this kind of videos, nanti in the future we'll do more of Apa Cerita originals. And maybe we can actually address some of these comments dekat kita punya social media, maybe
boleh
dekat Instagram or TikTok. We can do live dekat our platforms so that we can address some of these comments. So maybe you guys would find it better and could also tanya jugalah dalam tu kan.
And I think banyak juga yang minta, I think almost beratus lah juga komen yang cakap minta bawa Khairul Amin.
Betul.
So hopefully kalau Khairul Amin terbuka hati nak masuk kita punya podcast kan.
Correct.
Kita bukan nak apa sangat, kita nak belajar je daripada you punya orang kata story
and be inspired.
Be inspired and try to inspire more Malaysians. And I think that kalau kita boleh dapat mungkin that will be our lebih pada 100,000 punya episode lah.
Betul. And plus I tell you guys, we are doing our part. I reach out to dia punya PA, and then our production team reach out to dia punya production team pasal kawan, right? And we follow up regularly, right? And still, because he is Khairul Amin, good.
Yalah.
Kan? So his schedule is correct. So in time insyaAllah we will get, but we've done our part. You guys have to support us juga. Do your part.
Tolong kita komen-komen juga. Komen-komen. Masuklah Apa Cerita. Please.
Reach out to him that so that he can actually tergerak hati. I doa kat Tuhan macam tu je. Tolonglah gerakkan hati Khairul Amin untuk join podcast Apa Cerita.
Wow. InsyaAllah.
Dan seterusnya kita usaha. The rest
ni
kita
pun
lepas.
antara kita punya ikhtiar.
Correct.
Kan.
Okay. One more or should we?
I pilih satu lah. Dia kata sopan betul tu pemuda ni. Acik approve. 10 minit into the podcast, makcik dah menangis. They explain all my question on how Aisyah hadapi konflik. Tak ada yang sia-sia Aisyah. So I think we also get a lot of super positive comment juga kan. Kita pun macam I think of course ada some yang tak apa minat, cakap kita gelak kuat sangat ke apa ke kan. But I think a lot of them actually give us motivation jugalah. Kan, motivation dan inspiration untuk teruskan buat benda ni.
Betul.
And dalam 10 komen mungkin ada satu yang negatif, tapi 10 tu banyak yang support kita, yang cakap untuk teruskan. And InsyaAllah we will do our best lah untuk teruskan.
Terima kasih banyak-banyak to all the viewers yang mana yang say all the good things. It's the reason for us also to dia kasih kita semangat lah untuk continue.
Betul. Kita rasa macam tak sia-sia lah.
Correct.
Kita cuba buat ni kan.
Because it's not easy sambil tengah bertugas, busy dengan bekerja.
Dia buat Petit Muar, brand Petit Muar kan. It's fashion brand. So masa raya-raya ni not lagilah busy kan. But still your commitment kan.
Correct. And kita tak rasa berat lah. I feel like it's something yang amatlah seronok. Yes, especially baik kan, align dengan kita punya mission dalam hidup. Kalau asyik buat kerja je, then it's something ni kan.
Bosan juga hidup kalau macam tu kan.
So anyways, thank you so much everybody yang cakap baik-baik ni. We really super appreciative.
So I think last one, what I want to say adalah Melayu ni sebenarnya dah jauh lebih maju sebenarnya. Kalau kita tengok Melayu ni the past 80 years kan, dulu kita semua dekat belah kampung je, but today kita dah boleh tengok banyak sangat figure-figure yang dah sampai ke international level. And I feel like of course ada lagi kita punya room untuk kita improve, ada lagi room untuk kita kejar dengan other races in Malaysia, but they have years of, not to say advantage, but the culture dah imprint in them to do business, to go public listing. Benda-benda ni benda yang diorang dah bersembang daripada kecil-kecil dah dengar dah diorang cerita. This is their dream kan. But for us Malays, I think kita baru ada setengah yang dah sangat berjaya, but the awareness needs to be out there. And I feel like with whatever that we're doing here, it can trigger some people untuk start their journey dalam menjadi seorang yang terbaik dalam kehidupan ni.
Agreed.
And I think I'm proud also to say that Melayu tak lagi malas kan. Melayu tak lagi kat belakang. Kita pun ada tempat dekat masyarakat, and kita pun ada banyak kejayaan yang patut diselebratekan bersama. And I think benda ni patut semua orang tahu juga, supaya kita sama-sama boleh tahu that actually tak ada kurangnya pun kita jadi Melayu. Kan? Sama je kita dengan bangsa mana-mana pun.
Jasad semua sama. Kan? Meninggal pun sama, hidup sama, cuma mind je. So this is the only part yang kita boleh main peranan. Alright, so thank you very much everybody for watching.
Yes, thank you.
Please subscribe, it's free. And nanti
sekali lagi kita nak ucapkan juga Selamat Hari Raya kepada semua.
Selamat Hari Raya.
And I hope you guys semua pun enjoy your time with the family. And this is the time untuk kita bermaaf-maafan, untuk kita bergembira juga bersama sanak saudara, family members and everyone. Kalau bermain bunga api, bermainlah secara hemah dan berselamat lah, insyaAllah. Thank you very much everybody. Selamat Hari Raya dan maaf Zahir Batin. Alright, we'll see you guys again next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.